Hello, Year 10 students. This is a quick video to introduce the different satirical techniques that are used to create satire. And this will be the form the basis of all the work we're going to do this term. And we will use these techniques when exploring all the different examples of satire that we look at. Before we begin, quick recap on what satire is. Satire is a literary work that ridicules its subject by using techniques in order to make a comment or criticism about it. Remember, the biggest thing about satire, yes, it can be humorous, but it's making a comment or a criticism about something, usually about some element of society. It's a literary work, which can be a cartoon, it can be a novel or a novella like Animal Farm, it can be a TV show, it can be a movie, it can be a short story, it can be a podcast, it can be there's tons of online satirical news websites, so it could be anything, but it's something that creates criticism or a comment about some element of society. The techniques that are used to create satire are as follows: hyperbole, inversion, incongruity, understatement, invective, irony, sarcasm, and parody. These techniques are used to create that satire, and the different examples of satire that we will look at will include some, if not all, of these different techniques. So we're going to go through each one by one, very briefly, to give you a quick introduction and explanation of each one. Hyperbole, which you may know as exaggeration or over-exaggeration, to enlarge, increase, or represent something so that it becomes ridiculous and its faults are seen. The example of hyperbole here, we have the personification of Earth in this particular cartoon. It's a critique of climate change, and it's a critique of people who tweet and write about climate change without actually doing anything about it. Okay, so their words and actions don't add up. Catastrophic climate change warning from UN. Maybe people will notice if I tweet a selfie. The hyperbole here is the personification of Earth as a human, and the critique is about climate change itself and people's application of it. Understatement minimizes a situation often for comic effect. So you're minimizing a situation. You're making something out to be less significant as what it perhaps is. Have a look here at Willy Wonka. What is the understatement in this clip? Hint, it comes towards the end of the clip.
Meadow, try some of my grass. Please have a plate, please. It's so delectable and so darn good looking.
You can eat the grass.
Of course you can. Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable. But that is called cannibalism, my dear children, and is in fact frowned upon in most societies. Yeah.
So there's one word in particular in there which really alludes to the understatement that I'm referring to. It's to do with cannibalism, and the fact that cannibalism is frowned upon in most societies or most cultures, when we would hope that it is frowned upon in all societies or all cultures. So that is the example of understatement in that particular clip. Inversion. Inversion is a reversal of order, form, or another relationship. So it's the reversal when one thing is the opposite of what it should be, to present the opposite of the normal order. So it's something that we see where we're like, that's not quite right, it should be the other way around. So here we have a cartoon of a circus, and we have the animals who are controlling the human. That is the opposite of what we would expect to see. We would expect to see the humans on the outside and the animals on the inside doing tricks. The criticism in this particular cartoon is a criticism of the circus industry. It's a criticism on caged animals. It's a criticism of the treatment of supposedly wild animals in a controlled environment. Okay, so the inversion here is the animals controlling the human and making him do tricks he doesn't want to do. Incongruity is to present things out of place or absurd in relation to its surroundings. So it's placing things in an absurd or contradictory way to the way in which they should actually be represented. Here we have a woman lying in her coffin. Well, as she's lying in her coffin, she's holding a cell phone or a mobile phone to her ear, which is highlighting the attachment or criticizing the attachment that people have to their phones, to technology in general. The lady, presumably her friend or sister or mum, she looks so natural. Again, further illustrates that idea of her being tied and connected to that mobile. The incongruity, of course, is that we wouldn't expect to see somebody lying in a coffin holding a phone. So that's to present things out of place. So that is out of place. It's absurd. She's dead. She shouldn't have a phone to her ear. Okay, so that is the incongruity. As we go through, you may see that some of the other techniques that we've already looked at are present in this one too. We have inversion. It's the opposite of what we would expect to see. Incongruity and inversion are often tied together. It's hyperbole, the connection that people have to technology. It's hyperbolized in this particular image here. Okay. Invective. Invective is speech that may be directed towards an individual or cause, an idea, or a system that attacks or denounces it. Now, speech, it doesn't have to be direct speech. It doesn't have to be something somebody says. If it's a cartoon, it might be implied. The invective is implied within the cartoon, but it's very much linked towards the criticism that is being made towards society or towards an element of society in this. This particular cartoon, Mummy was busy on Instagram when beautiful Bubby fell out of the pram and lay on the path unseen and alone, wishing that he was loved like a fawn. So we have Mum walking along on the phone on Instagram, and we have the baby who fell out of the pram, and Mum didn't even notice. The invective or the criticism here, which is in this instance through speech, is obviously directly related towards Mum, and again her connection to technology, her connection to Instagram as opposed to her baby. Irony, a literary device where what is stated is often the opposite of what is meant. What is stated is the opposite of what is meant. So in this particular cartoon, we have caution, children playing. And when we see this sign, we don't expect to see children sitting down on their iPhones, iPads, technology, etc. We would expect them to see them playing in the playground. Okay, so this is the opposite of what we would expect to see as a result of this sign. Again, this is a direct critique or criticism of society and children's connection to mobile phones. Sarcasm is sneering disapproval, often expressed as praise. Someone who falls may be praised for their gracefulness. Congratulations, you broke the code. If you press the elevator button 3 times after it's already been pressed, it goes into hurry mode. So we can see from this lady's face that she is clearly being sarcastic towards this man who is holding the elevator door and pressing it 3 times in a irritated mode, waiting for it to come. And the last example is parody, to imitate the techniques and or style of some person, place, or thing in order to mock it. It's important to note that with parody can be used in satire, but you can also have parody that is separate to satire. In this particular example here, we have McDonald's being parodized, that's the word, so a parody of McDonald's on gaining it, and the McDonald's sign obviously linked towards weight. So we have inversion in this, we have incongruity in this cartoon also. And this particular clip here from Saturday Night Live, we're not going to watch. I'm just going to leave this here for you. And this is a critique of Donald Trump through parody. Okay, so they are the techniques of satire. I'm going to leave them with you. You're going to come back to this PowerPoint video regularly throughout the course of this term and use these as the basis of everything we are doing this term in satire.